Hey guys, welcome to GGrated. I have another good one for you. It's part 2 of this Ipod Classic that I have. Now I redid this so I can actually start using it again and put a new battery in it. But this time on this video, I got some new things to install. Y'all stay tuned, it's gonna be a good one. All right, a couple of things we're gonna install. We have the iFlashSolo. When you buy this thing, I'll leave all the links in the description, by the way. But what I'm having is that's going to be the front cover, a transparent front cover. I don't know if I'm going to install that yet. I think I'm going to keep the original trackpad on there. This is a brand new back cover. If you can see, if it can focus, it actually says 256 gigabytes. And as you can guess, I have a 256 gigabyte SD card as well to install. That will go into this right here. So when you order the iFlash cart that you put in there, it kind of gives you some stickers as well. And guys, I will also leave a link in reference to these headphones that I got, which were really cool and they work really great to go on my iPod. With that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're not going to go back over it because we went over it on the video, our first video on opening this up, but you would just open this up through the creases and it will pop off, and that's how you gain access to the inside. If you want more information on that, make sure you check out our first video. I'll leave a link up at the top for that. All right, so we have it opened up. We've taken this ribbon cable from this spot. We lifted up the tab, and we still have one more ribbon cable. If you want more information about opening it up and all, like I said, check out our previous video on this. So now what we do is going to turn this around. This is what we're taking out and we're replacing with this flash card. And so what we're going to do is flip this up and we're going to take out this ribbon cable and we'll go on to the next step. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take this out, but we're going to remove this ribbon cable so we can separate these two parts, kind of get this out of the way so we don't do any damage to it, okay? So the way you do that is you just flip that up, this pulls out, and that goes to the side. And you can see how damaged this thing is, how scratched up this old back of the iPod cover is. So right here is we have a new one. You can see the difference from both of them. And we're gonna put all this into that. So we're gonna work on that first after we take out this hard drive. So the way you wanna take out this hard drive is there's a little black, see if I can get in real close, there's a black piece right here for this ribbon cable. And what you do is you flip that up and then this ribbon cable should slide right out. So we're gonna go ahead and try that right now. All right, so it just pops up. It was a little old, so it took a little bit. And what you wanna do is kind of be careful and kind of just pull that out. Now you can see by the size of it, it's a pretty small little ribbon. But this is the old hard drive, which everybody knows we are now in the SSD era, so this is a little old. Wouldn't make sure to save these as well. We might be able to use them. All right, for this next step, what we're gonna have to do is there are 3 screws that are on each side of the case that you need to take out. Once you take those 3 screws out, then you should be able to pull them right apart from the front screen. So the next step is going to be separating this portion, I don't know if you can see that, from that portion. And it is now separated. So the next step will be keep the plastic covering on the front so it doesn't scratch, and we're just going to set this on top of that. I'm going to keep the same scroll wheel on there because I do like the black with the transparent. And it fits right in there. So we just put our screws in and that should be it. So the next step is going to be removing all these components and putting them into the new back plate. So what we're going to start first, we're going to move the new one out of the way, and we're going to take this battery out, which should be easy. And then we're going to have to take this tape up. Try to take this up and not do too much damage to the tape, and make sure you don't do any damage to the ribbon cable, because you're going to have to reuse this ribbon cable and you don't want it to be a pain in the butt having to get a whole new one. So we're going to do that, and we'll come right back. So the first thing you got to do is, there's a little screw on this piece. You just got to take this out. Well, once you take that out, there's one more screw on this side you're going to have to take off. So I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to show you real quick. So right here, there's another screw you got to take, and there's a screw that was right here. Take those two screws off. When you take those two screws off, this should come undone and you should be able to slide it onto the new one. And that should slide right on out. So that is loose now, so all we gotta do is get up this tape. Once we get up the tape, then we should be able to lift all this out after we take this screw out right here. All right, I got the tape up. Now the last thing to do is get this last screw out of here. All right, so we got all the parts moved over, put all the screws back in. From that point, this is what your back plate should look like. This is the new back plate. This is the old back plate. The only thing we would have to do is make sure we transfer this little bracket over to the new bracket. I should have got a new bracket because this one looks a little broken. And you can order those, but I can open it back up and switch that out at a later time. All right, so for the next step is I'm going to put the SD card in here, and then I would connect it to the ribbon cable, and then from there we'll put it back together, and that should be it. There's a little lock symbol on these cards, so make sure that it's not locked before you put it in there. I don't know if it make a difference, but all right. Good thing about this, it actually fits in between these slots. So it actually fit in there and it fits pretty snug. But we're not finished yet, so we don't need to do that. So next step after you have that connected is you need to put this ribbon back into this slot. Make sure the tab is up. Tweezers kind of help a lot in this. Put that tab down. Then you can roll this over. That fits down in there. And then at that point, you can kind of shut this, pull this off so it don't get trapped in the iPod. At that point, you can close it on up. You hear the clicks. And that is your iPod right here. All right, so I got it all put together. As you can see, it's showing very low battery right now, so I have to let it charge up a little bit. Once it's charged up, connect it to your computer, load up iTunes, and once you load up iTunes, it should reformat the software onto this iPod. Well guys, hopefully you enjoyed the little tear down and kind of build up on this iPod. It's a pretty cool little project. It's definitely fun to do. Now you're probably wondering, how do you get music onto this thing? Guys, all I can tell you is I'm going to drop a link below. Noteburner is what it's called, is what I use. You have to use an older version of iTunes as well. It's more of a drag and drop process, but make sure you do it with your legally owned music that you have. It can do videos, photos, all that. The same thing that you do with the iPods. The newer version of iTunes does not support iPods, so make sure that when you go to an iTunes website to download, that you download an older version of that, or you have an old laptop laying around that has an older version of iTunes. That usually works pretty great, and that's what I actually used to download this music. If you do want to see that it works, I will show you that as well. Got a little Brooks and Dunn on here, but I'll show you. Let me see if I can play this music. But you can hear a little music going. It's a pretty cool little thing, goes pretty loud. But guys, that is the conclusion to my video. If you did like it and you enjoyed the breakdown and the process, make sure you leave a comment down below and make sure you hit that like button. Until next time, peace, thank you, and I'll see you the next time on GGrated. Bye.